Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. I'm sitting as usual on the roof. Fortunately, we are not transmitting the smells because the neighbor just sprayed his rice field beside our house. So it's a bit stinking of poisonous chemicals. Well, that's how the world goes right now. It's time that we change things. It's time that we learn to live more in harmony with nature instead of always fighting against it, poisoning, polluting, and it will happen. But first we have to get out of this present crazy situation where we are in. First, the powers that are in control and try to take total control now, somehow they have to let go. It will happen, but not necessarily without a struggle. What we can do as individuals, I'm saying it again, I've said it before, open to the goodness, open to the light, open to your own divine nature. The more people are doing that, the more it helps the change of energy that is anyhow happening now. The more we are doing that, the more we are contributing that it can go smoothly. The less people that open up to truth and light and love, the more painful this change is going to be, and the slower. But it has to happen. It's bound to happen. But then I guess in the new situation, we shall be capable of starting more harmonious systems, harmonious amongst people and harmonious with animals and harmonious with the plants and the whole earth. It's about time, isn't it? Okay, I'll leave it at that. Now I come to Maria sent me a question. She says, recently she observes how she has the tendency to get obsessed about little things. Micro things, she calls it. Just the ordinary things from day-to-day life. Suddenly in the mind they have the tendency to become very big and important and create stress. What to do about it? What is it? Why is it happening? Well, one reason why such things happening now is that there is a tremendous intensity in the atmosphere. There is a tremendous struggle of energies going on between a dark energy and a light energy, and it creates an intensity, and people are picking this up. And then it can drive us a bit nuts, like taking unimportant things suddenly very important if we are not careful about it. So what to do? Maria, just find a way to, when you catch yourself, that you're in the midst of it, that you're doing it. Like she said an example, like now she's in Spain and packing to go back to England. And then suddenly it becomes very important how to pack that damn suitcase. Whether to put this first or that first. Right. The mind is doing such things. Making unimportant things important. So when you catch yourself, as long as you are not aware that you are doing it, you cannot do anything. But when you catch yourself, then find a way to redirect the attention. You can tell yourself, hey, come on, there you go again. It's not important. But then find a way to redirect the attention. I would recommend you Werner's magical formula. You just bring the attention to the present, center in the body, in your center, in your most favored center. Consciously breathe and relax. Center, breathe, relax. And immediately, if you do that, the perspective changes and things are put into its proper place. Then you can have a good laugh about it. Okay, Maria, I've seen that you are here. Do you want to add something to it? Otherwise, we leave the subject.
Thank you, Werner. Thank you. No, it's complete.
Okay, right.
I appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Hario, Hario.
Ariom.
Is there anybody who would like to come in? You're welcome. It's worth the trouble in this present time to really be vigilant. Because there is an intensity. If we are not vigilant, then suddenly our attention can be sucked into anything. And we can get all caught up in it and all obsessive, even more than in usual, less intensive times. But it's also an opportunity. If in such an intensity as it exists now, we are capable to see this and then detach from it and bring the attention to the present, to the timelessness of the now, and relax in it, let go in it, then that very intensity helps us to go that much deeper, to get that much more out of it. It's always good to be alert, to be vigilant. Right now, it's even more worth the trouble. Again, I'm asking, is there anybody who would like to say something? You're welcome to come in. Oh, we are 34 people here, so somebody will have something to say.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Nelly.
Yeah, what you talked about, Marie's question is close to me. Because I sometimes feel something like this when small things are so becomes very important. Yeah, it's sometimes right. So funny. Yeah, and I see last time a lot of things goes on in my life and a lot of situations. And from the other side, I see that there is nothing new. Some situations come and some emotions come up. I watch sometimes very strong emotions, and then they go away. So it seems to me that I get used to all these things, and sometimes I see they don't influence so much on me. Sometimes, yes, I can't say that it's always like this, but maybe little by little I learn to adjust to this and just to feel that it comes. Yeah.
Right. Be more detached and observative instead of overwhelmed by it. Huh?
Yes, maybe, but sometimes I feel that I'm overwhelmed, but just, yes, I see, yes, I am in this anger, in this irritation, and this.
Yeah.
I go to my painting bag and tell everything what I feel, and yes, and paint, and then I feel more relaxed and sit and observe. But anyway, I feel tension again in my body when I sit, and again I feel it's so amazing to feel this tension when I just sit and do nothing happens. But yes, it goes again, it happens again, but I just, something in me anyway relax. I feel that I just accept all this. Maybe
Great.
Sometimes I accept it more, maybe. Yeah,
right, because the emotions usually stay on and on and on and get bigger because we are totally focused on the story that brought up the emotion. And if we turn around and round and round in that story, the emotions are hooked and stay and keep on going, and sometimes getting stronger and stronger and unbearable. But once you do that, even if you are overwhelmed, then you can see it and you can observe it. So then when your attention is not more caught up in the story that brought it about, but directly with your experience of the emotion now, then you don't feel it anymore and it will pass. Good, great, continue like this. And in between you go and punch your bag.
Yes, it helps really. And I very often I remember what you say, that don't take it so serious. Even when I punch this bag, I tell what I feel and all these stories. And after some time I say myself, yes, it's just a role. It's not me. It's just some situation, but it's not me. Yes, and it's just like you say, magic show. Yes, I'm not in this. Really, it's not mine. Yeah, I remember it sometimes and feel that all this is so funny. Yeah, and it helps me so much when I remember what you remind all the time. It gives me so much support and remember.
Very good.
Remember to connect. Yes, Werner, it's very, very valuable. Yeah, I thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is there anything more you wanted to say or ask?
I think that's all. Yes,
that's all for right now.
Hari Om. Yeah.
Hari Om.
Yeah.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Is there anybody else who would like to talk? You're welcome to come in.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Leora.
Yeah, hi. I want to ask something about magic show and reflections. Just give a small example so it's easier for me. Last week on Saturday, I had a visit with friends that we go way back with life stories, and we used to be good friends when I was married, and there were many complications and stories and and I haven't seen them in many years.
Yeah.
And I invited them to come here to visit where I live now, in the small village in the south of Israel. And it was a very sweet visit. I invited them because I like them, but I didn't know how it would be after all, because I remembered the stories. I mean, all the events and
the history.
Yeah, the history. But I don't like these people very much.
Yeah.
So the visit was very sweet. And we had good communication and good conversations, and I could feel how we all have changed probably. And I felt they were very sweet.
Yeah.
And I told it to somebody, and she said, well, it's your reflection. So I just wonder, how far do I want to go with all the theories? I mean, does it matter? Maybe I'm so sweet, so I see them. My mind is so sweet. My reflection is so sweet. So I see everybody is so sweet. I don't feel this is true. And I also want to know that somehow that they are better now altogether with their lives and with themselves. And I mean, we all develop somehow.
Mm.
So I didn't really like it when she said, it's your reflection. Of course, it's my reflection, but still, as if, okay, there is some reality, even if it's a magic show. Or I think you know what I'm asking. Yeah.
Well, there is a relative momentary reality in this magic show. It just changes all the time. There is something there at the base, but then we project a lot personal on top of it, so that everyone is creating a bit their own reality on some basic common reality. Now, your question that you dropped in between, actually, I think it's important. You said, does it matter at all? No, it doesn't really matter. Your experience is in this particular situation that they have sweetened up and that they are quite sweet. Now, it's certainly a combination of both, that they must have changed and maybe let go of some sharp edges that have been there. But then you also have changed, and then you bring something else into the situation, which will bring another response from the people around.
Yeah.
So it's a combination. But the question you dropped in between makes sense. What does it matter? It doesn't really matter. Why should you at all make it into a problem in your mind? Are they now like this, or am I projecting that on them? Your experience is that when they are around right now, you feel it's nice and they are sweeter than before, and that's the relative experience. It's anyhow not as real as it appears. So what exactly makes the experience, all the details what makes the experience as it is not really important. It's always a confluence of different aspects. But your way, how you're relating to the situation, is certainly a strong influence.
Okay, so it brings me to another question about relationships altogether, which I've been exploring recently in like new views, maybe. It's so much, you know, less heavy when it's like that, how you describe. When somebody is really, really irritated, and I do have to stay with them, let's say my children, when I go and help with my grandchildren and there is some tension and things need to be done in 5 things in 1 second or so. And we want to leave the house and we have to dress them up with the coats and boots and all that. So it's like, and they get tensed about it. So I feel the energy and it disturbs me. But then I just like, I guess what I do is I bring my attention to the body and I feel how it disturbs in my body, and this somehow stops the story.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go home, I think it's not as difficult as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because it's there. I mean, like they are now really tensed, but I'm not really tensed. And it's not connected with me even.
Yeah.
Even when it's sweet, it's not really connected with me. It's like, so people get together and they're connected, but somehow they're not connected.
Yeah, both is there. We are anyhow connected. And especially people we have spent a lot of time with, like parents and children or partners, energetically, a connection is being made. It can be positive and loving, or it can be negative and not very loving, but the connection is still there. But we can consciously feed that connection, or we can detach from that connection, that it's less influencing you. And you see, you observe that the same situations with people that are close, like your own children, it's affecting you less than before. So great, continue in the same direction. That, okay, there are situations, then you get tense. They are tense, you get tense, you may get irritated. But then when you become aware, you watch your body, what is happening, and relax as good as you can. And then it may still stay on for some time, but at least it's not getting bigger and bigger and bigger and destructive. And it's the best way to put the situation in place that it can go by not hooking into it, but observing what it is doing to your body and relaxing.
Yeah, right.
We are, oh, Stefan, please turn off your microphone. You are interfering. Thank you. So you said about relationships. I mean, we are connected to everything. There's nothing that is not connected. Yet energetic, as I said, energetic connections, they are getting stronger when we spend much time with some people, when we spend intensive time with people. This can be nourishing, or it can be very distracting. Both is possible. If we have a negative strong connection, then usually it's always rather irritating and distracting. But even that we can learn to turn it around, that it helps us to go deeper. Once we know, there is not exactly a too easy relationship, then we can be prepared. And when we think of the person or the persons, when we meet them, we can already do that with the attitude, I'm not going to get sucked into unnecessary superficial bickering, but I will be observant what is happening to me, to my experience right now as good as possible. And then even a irritating type of relationship can help you to go very much deeper. It's a challenge that we can use to become more self-aware.
Yeah. Right. Okay, to be continued for now. Thank you.
Shall we leave it at that?
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
see yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to say something? You're welcome to come in. This whole world experience is what I just at the end said to Leora. We can accept situations as a challenge to learn more about ourselves. That's what we are here for. That's what this magic show is for. We take this world much too serious, all the details. We take it much too serious, what is happening, what should happen, what should not happen. Forgetting, we consciously came into this theater to play a role, but at the same time to collect experience. And if we do that consciously, then this experience is very enriching all the time. And every situation is a possibility to go deeper in that self-recognition. Joyous, pleasant experiences, but also very confronting and unpleasant experiences. If we can accept them and see what they are doing to us, how they are influencing our experience right now in the timelessness of the now, and learn to deal with all those energies that are involved, that are invoked, and learn to relax, then every situation is a possibility to really grow, to outgrow this level. That's the point of this human story. That's the point of having come into this world. That's the promise of this experience, of this human experience, that we have continuously the possibility to go deeper, to get enriched. Essentially, we want change. The experience of that, of the possibilities, keeps on unfolding and evolving all the time. And as long as we are taking these situations very serious, as long as we are totally identifying with the role that we are playing with this person, then most of the time it's a drag. Most of the time it's quite a painful story with little peaks of joy in between, and then well, somehow surviving again until the next peak of joy. But if we learn not to take the whole damn story so serious, then we can learn to go about it playfully, joyously. Some situations will be pleasant, some situations will not be pleasant. If we stop creating all those blocks and resistance, but just accept as it comes, deal with it and let it go, then we can joyously go about it and get even much more out of it than if we are full of tensions and blocks. Again, I'm asking, is there anyone who would like to come in? Please come in. Seems to be one of those satsangs you want me to talk all the time. What I just said right now, it applies to all the situations. And I talked in the beginning about the intensity of the present situation. And on its own relative level, it is a serious situation, what is going on. A serious power struggle of opposed energies. And yet, even that, we can learn not to take so serious. That doesn't mean at all that we should somehow close and not, I don't want to know anything. We don't want to know what's going on. It's better to be a bit informed. And not simply by the official informations, but by alternative viewpoints, by alternative facts that are being broadcasted. We can very well be informed, see the graveness of the situation on its own relative level, and in spite of that, not take it too serious. If we get sucked into negativity because of what is happening, if we get sucked into depression and gloominess, then actually we are not only making our own experience miserable, but we are contributing to that negative force that tries to remain in control. And we're radiating that and influencing people around us in a negative way. If we learn even this situation not to take too serious, okay, it's part of the divine play. Humanity has to go through the present situation. And it seems that we humans have to be profoundly shaken up, that we are ready to open up a little, to make a step into a positive situation. Often it's like this in personal development, and obviously It's like this for whole humanity. But each individual, we can still learn to keep that playful attitude, to accept, okay, it's the divine play. It gives lots and lots of possibilities to consciously confront situations which we are not necessarily desiring, to hear about situations of injustice and people are being ill-treated for no reason whatsoever. And then, in spite of that, remain centered in the now, connected with your own divinity, not to take the situation too serious. And then we are really bringing in something extremely positive. First, you are the first that is benefiting from it. Your own experience will be joyous. You can go playfully, joyously from moment to moment, from day to day. And in that lightness, in that relaxedness, you are connecting with your essence much stronger. And something beautiful will flow through you into this story. And actually contribute that it's getting lighter, that it's getting more joyous. So it's in the mind we may feel, but we have to worry about things when they are heavy. No, we don't have to worry about things. We can see, we don't have to try to do the opposite and artificially say, oh, everything is so wonderful and nice and beautiful. No, on the relative level, it's clear there are many things that are not nice and wonderful and beautiful, but they are ugly. And if we can do something about it, to change it, then we better do something about it to change. But there is no need to get emotionally heavy about it, to get sucked into gloominess, into depression and worrying about things, because it makes our own experience heavier. It makes everything more difficult. It doesn't bring a damn thing. It's not irresponsible to learn to not take this damn story so serious. It's not irresponsible if we stop worrying about things. In contrary, there we take responsibility about our own experience, about our own life, and we learn to consciously influence it in such a way that it's becoming joyous and creative and beautiful. And that joyousness and that creativity and that beauty we can radiate and bring it in the whole story. And so we are doing a much better job than when we are worrying about all that is going on. There I'm talking again. Is there anybody else who would like to say something? You're welcome to come in.
Hello, Werner.
Hello. Yes, I was about to use again the wrong name, Eric instead of Patrick. Hello, Patrick.
Hello. I have a question, because I heard that the whole world is only a mirror of myself. I see only myself in the whole world and in other people. They are only a reflection of myself. Is this right?
It's just a way of talking about this mystery that is going on here. Some say everything is the self, but then they don't mean yourself, myself. It don't mean an individual, but the essential self.
Yes,
And
that's what I mean.
right. Some say all is God. You can also say everything is that manifestation, the expression of that same divinity. But it's not that you as an individual make all these happen. There is, I mean, when we go as an individual to sleep and we dream, we may make up totally a complete world, a complete universe, which is simply coming out of our own individual subconscious. We may also there sometimes connect in other worlds, but here there is something like a matrix that is there. There is a ground, a common ground. There is that magic show there where the individual consciousness can tune in. And then we project, of course, our own stuff everywhere. So how we are seeing people, what we are seeing is very much often something that we are projecting there. And that, to some extent, you can say so that it's even as an individual, all that you see is yourself. But it's simply the way we perceive it and the way we interpret it. Essentially, it's all that same divinity. And you can call that divinity self, but it's not an individual self. It's the total self that is there. And of course, everything can only exist because of that. Without that essence, nothing is. But you as an individual, you still sort of on the ground of this matrix that is already there as a common ground for all this individual consciousness to project into it. We somehow project very much a lot of individual stuff into it, that it becomes like on the base of a common world we project our individual world. It's true and it's not true. You ask me whether it's true. What is happening here is a mystery that cannot be put into just a few words, like what everything that you see is just yourself. Yes and no.
When you said that everything I see other people are something that I interpreted in them.
Right. If you got completely detached, if you identify with your essence, then your vision will clear up and you will see more and more things the way they present themselves. But the more we are identified with that me, I person, the more we are in our mind thinking and keeping our worldview intact by thinking all the time about it, the more everything we are perceiving goes through that filter and gets colored by it. And we interpret our own thing about things that are happening there.
And when I am free from the me thinking, makes it then any difference which with people I'm together, or is this all the same good for me?
I don't quite get
So
the,
now in the me
question.
person, usually one is thinking, okay, I try it again. When someone is in the me thinking, then one has preferences. So you like somebody more than somebody other.
Right.
And is this true, or is this all my projection?
Mm.
And when the me personality is gone, makes this then any difference anymore?
Right.
Or is this then all people is the same good for me?
Yeah. As long as you are appearing in a human form, that personality is still there. The question is only whether we identify with it or not. Whether we consciously play that person as a role, or whether we think, I am this person. And as long as this personality is there, then on the relative level, there will be affinities, and you feel attracted to certain people more than to other people. But if you are not identified with your personality, then it doesn't matter, and you can easily be with the people you don't feel so much attracted, and you can be equally friendly or if you feel it's unnecessary, you can also be unfriendly. But affinities will still be there. But they don't rule you. That's the difference. As long as we are identifying with it, then it becomes very important. Then I'm with people I like, oh, it's wonderful, I like them, we can have a good time together. I'm with people I don't like, oh, it's terrible, what the pain in the bum to have to hang out with them. And if you detach from them, you can equally easily be with both. But as soon as there is manifestation, there are aspects in manifestation that feel more attracted and aspects in manifestation that feel less attracted. There's nothing wrong with that. If we can see it on its own level and don't identify with it, we can play with it. It doesn't matter. Even if you are totally detached from the personality, can you still hear me? Because the computer tells me my connection. Yes. Ah, yeah. It just was written, the connection is not good. But even if you detached but not identified, in all the different aspects of life, there will still be preferences. There is certain food that you will prefer to other food. Certain music that you will prefer to other music, certain people that you will prefer to be with than other people. As long as we don't make that into the core of our well-being, then there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. As long as we think I can be happy only if I have the foods I like, if I have the music I like, if I'm with the people I like, then of course, if we make our well-being dependent on that, then we are getting thwarted all the time, because sometimes it functions and many times it doesn't function. But if you are aware that your happiness, your fullness comes out of yourself and it's not dependent on that, then these preferences are just part of manifestation and they don't affect you. But still, certain preferences will be there. I don't know whether you have heard me till the end, because your picture...
Yes, The last 20 seconds connection was not that good.
Mhm. Well, at the end, I just said once again that the preferences will be there, but they don't matter. It's nothing wrong having preferences. We can see them and not be attached to them, then they don't hurt. They don't create suffering. Knowing that you are completing yourself. You don't need anything, you don't need anyone to be complete, to be happy. That happiness comes out of yourself. The more you are aware of that, then the less those preferences on the relative level will affect you. Still, a trace of it will remain there.
And where does the trace come from?
It's just programmed into the form in which you are appearing. Somehow genetic material that you bring along, somehow whatever you brought and projected into this human existence is active there. Certain things that are disturbing, we can root them out and drop them completely off. But many things we may not feel the need of somehow unrooting them. That they can very well be there, but they are just part of that external presentation of the self, the external appearance. So they come as a program when you come in this world, and some are overwhelming and have to be dealt with, that we can let them go, and others we can very well let them there and not worry about them.
Thank you very much, Werner.
You're welcome. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to talk?
Hello.
Hello, I hear a hello. I don't see anybody.
It's Anita. I don't know, my my camera is on.
Now I see you and I hear you.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Anita.
Hello, Werner. Yeah, I want to ask about forgiveness. The question is how to forgive and if it's really necessary. Yeah, I hear that often, but now it concerns myself, and I can see that it's not easy to forgive. Yes.
Yeah. Usually, if we
how
have
and why?
Sorry.
I said how to forgive and why, or if it is
how and why? How and why? Right. Usually, when we have difficulties to forgive people for what they have done to us, then actually we have also difficulties to forgive ourselves, how we have acted and reacted in situations. We keep on accusing ourselves and, oh, what silly fellow I was, why did I do like this? And keep holding on to those emotions. And as long as we are doing that to ourselves, it's very difficult to forgive others. So first, have a good look at yourself and see what have you not forgiven yourself in this particular situation where it's difficult to forgive the others. And then accept, okay, from that particular viewpoint I had, from what I knew, I acted the way I acted. Maybe I would act differently from the present viewpoint, but so what's the point in feeling bad about what happened in the past? And if you can let go, accusing yourself, then you will see it will become much easier also to accept that others have been the way they are, or that they are the way they are. We may have all kinds of ideas how people should be, and so many times they just don't fit the bill. They just don't, they just are not the way we think they should be. And there we can keep on turning that around and make it a big problem. Or we can learn to accept, okay, people are the way they are because they have their own hang-ups, because of their own bringing up, because of their background, because of how their character has been formed. If they are open, we can point out to them that they may improve in certain ways. But if you feel that there is no openness, then you can accept, okay, they are the way they are. If it is not necessary to deal with them, then we can also go around them. But sometimes we may have to deal with them in spite of that. And then if you have basically that acceptance, okay, they are the way they are. Not exactly in all points to my liking, but they are still the way they are. Then it's getting much easier to deal with them and also to forgive them for transgressions they are making. But many times we are accusing first ourselves without being aware of it and thinking, why did I accept it? Why did I let it happen? I should have done something about it. I should have banged on the table. I should have told. And accusing ourselves, keeping that tension, then we project all the tension also to the others and don't want to forgive them. But forgiveness is not a moral thing. It's not a moral rule that we have to do, because if we don't do that, we don't get to heaven at the end of the life. No, forgiveness means nothing else, but we can let go unnecessarily carrying on tensions that we keep on carrying on, weights that we don't need to carry on because some people behaved in certain ways. Some people are still behaving in certain ways that we don't like. And the more we resist against that fact, the more... Oh. Just had to put the current because the battery was running out. So if we keep that as an unnecessary weight on our shoulders, then it's just impoisoning all our experience. So it's not a moral thing that we should be a good girl or a good boy and forgive in order to be holy. No, that forgiveness means that we stop holding on to things unnecessarily that weights us unnecessarily down. We're doing that ultimately always for ourselves, to make our own experience lighter. On top of that, of course, it makes also the experience lighter of those that we accuse. Because as long as we keep that weight and that accusation and that resistance against facts, how they have been and how they are, then we also sending something heavy towards those people. And if we can let that go, if we can forgive, we stop doing that for them and for ourselves.
And how to actually do it? Also, just to drop the story or just say, I forgive you? That's for me, I don't know.
Yeah. If it's something from the past, you can pick up the memory and then let the emotions come that come along with it. That reluctance that you felt, the anger that you felt, whatever irritation you felt, let it come up again. And then watch what it is doing to your experience right now. Those charged memories, those emotionally charged, energetically charged memories. And then you learn to relax now. Relax your body, relax your legs, relax your shoulders, relax the whole body. And if you physically relax in the experience, then energetically, emotionally, you also start to relax. And that relaxation is already the letting go of the tensions. It may also happen that you do that and you feel, big weight has gone from your shoulder, it's gone, but it may not completely gone. Same story may come back the next day again and nag and then if you can just let it go, you let it go. But if you feel it's still charged, then accept, all right, I'm opening up again completely. Instead of trying to push it away, open up and let the memory come again, let the emotions come again, and watch again what it is doing now to your experience. And then again you can relax and let go. And if you do that, even the heavy stuff that has to come back repeatedly, you get weaker and weaker, and at the end it's gone. And then nothing remains to be forgiven. It's only as long as we hold on to something, then the idea comes that we should forgive something. If we're not more accusing, then we don't need to forgive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's good to remember, it's all these things, they are not moral rules. The religions, the traditions have the tendency to make everything into morality, and you have to do this and that in order to be good, and not to do that in order not to be bad. It has nothing to do with morality. It has to do that we learn to use our life energy in a harmonious and creative way.
Yeah, sounds somehow I can connect more with this idea of to not accuse anymore, to let go of this accusation.
Right. And if you stop accusing, then there is no need of forgiving anything.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, this is the body relaxation. I find out more and more how the tenseness of the body is always connected with some story, yeah, some program or whatever. And whenever I relax, this has to let go in this moment, and then only then I can be alive. And
Yes.
I see this connection more and more, that all these tensions I have in the body are all some stories, some memories were stored in the body.
Yeah. Right.
It's a lot of chance to relax. Great, thank you for this good input.
Hario, Hario. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? You're welcome. Just to the same subject. When I came to Amma, I had been practicing all kinds of stuff for 12 years before that. But there, she encouraged me. You can sit, you like to sit, so that's what you have to do. Basically, don't do anything else. That's what I did as good as I could. Sitting. And then instead of getting more peaceful, it really started to bore you. I had no idea before that how much stuff I was carrying along with me. And how many accusations I was holding on to. Of things that have happened in my life with people, with the parents, with the teachers, with the priests, with the people in society. I remember when I came the first time here, because the first 4 years, whenever Amma let me go, I used to come here. And the first 10 months, I was here every morning. I walked up to Virupaksha cave and was sitting there 5, 6, 7 hours on stretch. And there very much the past came. And there was one period in my life that came back all the time. And so much anger was there. And first I wanted to always push it away. I didn't want to have to do with all this silly mental stuff. I wanted to meditate and be something cosmic and holy and work out, but not. But then I had to accept, okay, I have to deal with that stuff. I have to surrender to the fact it's there. It needs to be given attention. And then I used to stop resisting and let stories come, let memories come, but trying not to get completely caught up in the story and end up totally in the past, but be here now and see what it is doing to my experience now. I mean, it would happen, it would work for some time, then I got again completely there in the story, but then it would work again. But like this, gradually, even strong tensions were getting released. And finally, the same things that were there, full of emotions, full, charged with energy. The same things were just a story. And then this happens, what I just said to Anita. If we stop keeping some anger towards somebody, if we stop accusing, then there is no some magic thing that we have to do called forgiving. It has already been forgiven. We've stopped accusing, and it's neutral. Forgiving people, forgiving situations, forgiving ourselves means mainly that we see how we unnecessarily carrying weights on our shoulders because of happenings in the past, things that we have not digested, energies and emotions locked into situations that we were not ready to let go, To become aware, it's still there. See what it is doing to our experience right now and learn to let it go. And when we let go those tensions, those weights, those angers, those accusations, then suddenly there's no more need of forgiving anyone because there is no accusation. Then you are open and fresh for everyone. You meet them with the openness like a child, in spite of having that capacity to discriminate that we have learned as an adult. Still, then we can again embrace the new situations with that sparkling innocence of little children. Is there anybody else who would like to talk? You're welcome to come in. There are still 36 people. Nobody wants to talk? All right. I'll say something more about the present situation, not about what's going on. Otherwise, YouTube will not accept my video. No, just another tip how to deal with the present situation. It's important that we are authentic. It's important that we are true to ourselves. It's good to inform ourselves and then make our own choices. There is a lot of pressure from the society, from the governments, from friends in one way or the other way. People are extremely strongly emotional about their views, about their attitudes of what is going on now. And so people will be very strong trying to tell others what they should think, what they should believe, what they should do. We are well advised to inform ourselves and not to just pick out things that we hear in the official informations. And then we make up our own minds how to navigate this whole storm, and then be true to yourself. Not in order to please others, behave in this way, behave in that way, talk this way, talk that way. Be yourself. Do that which you think is right for yourself. And then you are at peace with yourself. It's important that we are authentic. It's important that we don't let ourselves be pushed in playing roles that we don't want simply because somebody wants us to do so. If we are true to ourselves, then we are at peace, even if it involves that externally we may have to face more difficulties. If we are not true to ourselves, but try to please, but inside it is always nagging that why like, do I let it happen? Why do I let myself be pushed like this? Then even if we can, by doing so, avoid confrontations, it will not make us happy. It will always weigh on us. It's always like this right now. It's very strongly like this. Be true to yourself. Do what you feel is right. Sometimes you may give explanations, but sometimes you may also not give explanations. Just if somebody confronts you and says, why do you do like this? Then you, if you feel like explaining, you explain. And otherwise you just tell them, because I feel that's right for me right now. Take it or leave it. Be authentic, be true to yourself, and let others be authentic and true to themselves. Because I'm coming up with that again, because I see how much tensions people are creating amongst themselves unnecessarily. It's an intense time. We all can learn enormously from that. All these confrontations. We learn to be centered, connected with the now, and relaxed in that. In this intensity, we can unfold our experience powerfully, quickly. It's certainly also not only a difficult and terrible time, it's a great opportunity. All right, my friends, if nobody wants to come in, we stop the satsang for today. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.